there's this woman. She's on TikTok. She put together a video where she phoned a number of churches. I think the number is 30. Let's say 30. She phoned 30 churches. And she said, I got a sick baby. I got a baby here, infant, and I need formula. Could you help me? Could you please give me some formula for my sick baby? And she had a recording of a baby crying in the background. She called a number of churches. Many of those churches turned her down. You could hear the people in the church turning her down, telling her, hey, are you a member of our church? Won't you go somewhere else? Go somewhere local. Won't you do this? Won't you do that? Like, we're talking $20. You know, $20. A church didn't want to give a single mom with a baby that's going hungry a couple dollars. Now, after all of this, after 30 churches were contacted, 2 black churches and 1 Muslim church offered to help. I understand there was another church, I think a small Lutheran church helped too, so I think the number's 4. But anyway, the bottom line is that's the setup. It's a horrific story. It's not a feel-good story. I'm still wondering, is there some type of catch to this? Are these church people really this bad? Can you really be this heartless where you can't give a single mom a couple bucks? If I was walking down the street and you know, and someone said, hey, my daughter's sick, can you have a couple bucks for milk? If I got it, I give it to them. You mean a church that gets tax breaks can't do that? That's the job. And they don't answer to anybody except God, supposedly. So that's the setup, fam. That's where we at. It looks like these churches may have been just that cheap. They may be just that uncaring, that they will make excuses for not helping a mom and her baby.
Social media, a long time ago. It's just a playground for good things, but also evil. So as much good as you can get out of it, you get a lot of evil. And the person.
So this pastor, he blames social media. He doesn't blame the churches that were phoned, who didn't give the mother help. He's blaming the woman who did the experiment. You know what I'm saying? He's saying it's evil to trick people to see what they'll do, to see if they'll rise to the occasion. Now remember, anybody could have said, I got you, sister. Come on over here. I don't run the church. I don't own the church. But if you need $20 to feed your baby, I got $20. Come through. You would have won the day. You would have won the internet, period. But this guy, this pastor, leading a flock, this pastor is making excuses. And he's blaming the mother, the woman, because she's not a mother. He's blaming the woman for doing the experiment. Before we go any further, let me let you know the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack.
Who goes around calling churches and putting the voice of a baby crying in the background. And I say, you know, really the person is low. So, you know, like I teach these men over here, folk want to apologize. I don't apologize to the devil. Yeah, sometimes Christians get so weak, you forgot we're supposed to rebuke evil. So if you could pretend to have a crying baby to try to call churches and to trick people into things. Now, let me tell you something about Living Faith. We fed thousands of people. Thousands, not hundreds, thousands. I can't tell you how much money have gone out. Now, we don't advertise it because I'm not a social service person. I don't have a big box of money that I sit there and just tell them to pay us by. Our staff gives money out of their pocket. And I can't tell you how many times we put families up where we had women with children come here on a Wednesday night, nowhere to live. Ask Sister LaToya, I give her my credit card. Go over here, stay a week, stay a week. So, but I'm not one of them preachers. I need to go call the newspaper every time we give out a bottle of water. So if you need that, you're in the wrong church. So as long as the members of Living Faith know, and I say we in the middle of feeding people, how you gonna do your little dirty deed? And you know, it's just the spirit of a witch. It's a witch. And my Bible says he do not allow that thing to live. So you have to watch when you fooling with God. I told him I had my scripture. I'm going to slip it in here this week. I didn't get a chance to share it out of Daniel chapter 5. What happened when you mess with the people of God?
This brother done twisted up this whole thing. You know, if you do such great work and you help people all the time, why not help this sister? Why not do this? This was easy. Since you feed everybody, you give them a credit card, let anybody go stay anywhere they need to stay for weeks at a time. They couldn't come up with $20. You know, sometimes it's best to be quiet. Yeah, you could have just ignored it instead of doing a sermon on this shit to put bigger spotlight on your ass. Yeah, sometimes because sometimes if you don't have a response, if you don't have a good response to something, sometimes it's better to shut the hell up. Yeah, I don't know if that's in the Bible, but it should be. It should be a scripture in the Bible that says, if you're gonna be a cheapskate and not help the poor and hungry, and you get caught on tape not doing so, maybe you should shut up. Or here goes something. You can shut the fuck up. Or here goes something better. How about just say, hey, we screwed up. There you go. We screwed up that time. The person that answered the phone didn't know how to answer that question. We don't usually get phone calls for people asking for baby formula. We not a nursery. We didn't know how to handle it. We just told her we didn't know how to help her with that. And we should have did a better job. And I'm retraining our staff so if somebody calls up with random requests like that, they need to let me know. Get the number of the name of the person and let me know. And we will take care of it personally. Because that's not who we are. But see, this sounds a lot like politicians, right? Because politicians do the same thing. They don't want to admit they're wrong. They don't want to admit they're wrong. See, like at the start of this show, what did I have to do? What did I do, guys? I admitted I was wrong. I admitted me believing that poll may not have been the best way to look at things. I don't live in New York. I don't know what it's like. I don't know how big the immigration population is. I wasn't thinking about people checking black when they are not black. I mean, it's never been such a favorable thing in America to be black, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're trying to get a college, Rachel Dolezal. But you know what I'm saying? But you know what I had to do? I had to admit, hey, that one got past me. I didn't look at it that way, right? My dislike for Democratic Party had me so focused on why we keep voting Democrat that I missed that one. But see, I'm a bigger man because I can admit, hey, I maybe missed that one. I slipped that time. Thank you for correcting me. You know what? Next time, I'll be thinking differently on that issue. Why come this pastor couldn't do that? I mean, if you get a tax break, on the money you bring into the church, and you can't help people, no questions asked, they need to fill out a form first for $20. $20, Jam. $20, family. We're not talking about $20,000. We're not talking about we're not talking about $200 or $2,000. We're talking about $20 damn dollars. And instead of saying, oops, we screwed up, we human beings, Lord knows where our hearts are. We do a lot of good things in the community. We just had a staff member that was not prepared for that question. That staff person has been trained. We're going to do a better job. Anybody can get caught slipping. We got caught slipping. But we got people in this church right now that can attest that we have helped people that needed help. But see, that was also the thing, fam. Part of this is they help people that go to the congregation, but not other people. You understand what I'm saying? That was part of it. A lot of people were asking, are you a member of our congregation? These are the same people that want you to help migrants. These are the same people that you're going to listen to on Sunday. They're going to get up there and try to talk politics. They're like, I've been in these churches where they want to talk politics. They want to jump into conversations about politics and browbeat people, but when it's time for them to rise above, to be the better people, to do the different thing, to be better, to be bigger, what do? Are you a member here, sir? Sorry, we can't help you with that $20. Hypocrites. Not everybody, not everyone, not absolute, but some of them are hypocrites.
But that's like taking advantage of a person who's infirm and saying, I'm getting money, but the person not really infirm. You just using them. And I said, every mother that had a baby, what's the first thing they give you before you leave? Put it on the screen. The first thing they do to a mother is because the baby need food. Y'all got the thing I sent you with the wick? All right, it's coming up. It's coming up. Okay. Now this is on the Louisiana website for WIC. And the first thing you're going to see, they say, we open. Even though they got people of mental levels that I'm not sure about in D.C., but in Louisiana, your WIC still works. And so this is what you do. So for all the little TikTok demons, since y'all don't know how it works, this is where you get your milk. Amen. Now we give you meat.
Here's my question. Now that you know your church ain't shit, now that you know your church, the one you go to every Sunday, the one you go to Bible study for on Wednesdays, the one you give 10% of your hard-earned money every paycheck, won't feed a starving baby. Damn the mama, right? Ain't nobody asked her no questions about whether she was hungry. But now that you know your church is not who you are, because I know you watched that video and said to yourself, well, damn, even if the church can't give her no formula, I would have pulled $30 out my pocket and told her, come up here and meet me. Now that you know that, what are you going to do with that information? Serious question. And I'm not saying I know the answer. I'm legit asking you, what are you going to do? Because sure, you could leave the church, but what's better is holding them accountable. I got questions, and I'm going to ask them at every opportunity. At choir rehearsal, Bible study, praise team rehearsal, during the welcome on Sunday morning service. We need to gather, because ain't no way any of this is Christ-like. Y'all tell me what you think.
Next.
Man, I appreciate her, man, putting the foot in the script. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Here's the thing, and it's something that's going to be a bit of pure, sister. In reality, this is human nature. This is human nature on display, sister. This is how people do. You can lay it all out for them. Show them exactly everything. Have it on tape. And they will find a way to deny reality. Because they're not willing to accept that their church is some shit. People do it with their political party. You can lay it all out. I can show you. Trump was beating the brakes off the Democrats. He just won every swing state. He got the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. He running the tables on them. Then who's desperate? I don't know. Who would do something desperate? The guy that keeps winning, who's in a winning position, or the people that keep getting their asses kicked? Oh no, it's not that hard to figure out. But you can lay it all out for them. You can explain it all, step by step. And what happens? Denial. It's not just a river in Africa. It's running through the internet, streets and cities all across this land, even in your street, even in your town, your city, your state. That's reality. I've been telling people, how are we going to be at 40% home ownership for 60 plus years? Vote 90% for a party. How can you rectify that in your mind that makes sense? How is that okay? That Latinos could come to this country, not even speak the language, and be at 50%. And you not look at your party who you've been giving your votes to. And you know what the response to me was? What about the Republicans? What have they done for us? That's like going to a job you don't, going to a place of business you don't work and going, where my check? Give me my check. It'd be like, are you an employee here? No. Have we hired you? No. You a volunteer? No. Never been here a day in my life. But give me my check. But see, that makes sense, right? I mean, I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is people will defend their position, no matter how ludicrous it is. People say, I say, look, man, we need to become independent thinkers. We need to defend our vote. We need not give it away like candy. Automatically, this is not Halloween, motherfuckers. It is, oh, you're just a Trump supporter. Everything, all the reasons why I said we need to be independent, they ignore. And they go right to accusing me of supporting a person I don't support. Just because they want to defend their party, they want to defend their position. Just like all those people in that church were defending the church over obviously getting caught with your pants down. You got caught slipping. And instead of admitting he got caught slipping, he does an entire sermon denying reality. And to me, that's an insult. Oh, that's an insult. That means he thinks everybody in that church is an idiot. And it sounds a lot like politicians. You gonna believe me or your lying eyes? You gonna believe me or you gonna believe your lying eyes, Johnson? It is what it is, family. Once again, this is not all churches. This is not all pastors. That's the only thing I want to say here. That's the last thing I want to say. It's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? And there are good churches that do good things. There has to be. I've been to a couple. But there are churches that don't do the right thing. Remember Joel Osteen about 5 years ago? There was a major flood, and he would not open the church to let the people stay out of the flood. Remember that? Remember that? He gets a tax deduction. Remember they found like $10 million in the wall in one of his churches? He's like, where'd that come from? I don't know where that came from. I have no idea where $10 million, I have no idea where the $10 million came from. Jesus works in mysterious ways. Who knows? They was like, can these homeless people, can these people wash out of their homes, stay here? Hell no. Lord doesn't want that. No, the Lord doesn't want that. Lord wants you to go drown, learn to swim. Lord wants you to take them Nikes and walk on up the street. Lord wants you to hit Pete and repeat. Walk on up down the block. Lord don't want you to track your shoes all through my church, through our sanctuary. Now you be good now. You heard?
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.